So now we're getting to the 7th draft pick. That goes to Eric. He is an interesting case study. A lot going on. Hopefully we can get through it and you can understand where we derived this pick. But, we have to get into the head of the Eric. His draft board, mind you, has already been blown because Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams have gone to 2 picks before him, and he's throwing his arms up, and Katie's having to deal with that, so prepare for that. So this is the second time Eric's draft 7th. That other time came in 2015 when he finished 8th with the Dez Bryant era there. So across the board, if you look, lots of names to get through. Even, we're getting to the heyday of Rashard Mendenhall, Ray Rice, Alfred Morris. These were first-round picks back in the day. First-round picks. So, we have 7 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 quarterback, right? So, as we break it down, 64%, 27%, 9%. Okay? So, here's where we have to figure it out of where we go through. So let's break down the people that are left on the board. We have still our 3 still there. Mind you, these guys are still hanging strong. Elliott, Kamara, and Chubb. Now, we got to add some names to the board. Why? Because we have some, factors over here, right? So we got to factor this in. A wide receiver. Next wide receiver up on the board, Stephon Diggs. Right? Sitting there. Also, quarterback, always going to be there until you pick him, Patrick Mahomes, okay? So, something we have to figure out how we're going to figure this out. Eric's good years, where he makes the championship bracket, it's come when he's come with 4 running backs and 1 wide receiver. The years he doesn't, he makes the consolation bracket, it is with 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 quarterback. So, as you can, 3 running backs. So, as you can see, we're going to take out Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to go that route. It didn't work for him in 2012. Not going to work for him here. Now, 2 of those bad years with running backs, 2020 with Chubb, 2018 with Kamara. Eric has stood by it for years now that you don't make the playoffs with Alvin Kamara. So, by that logic, since he didn't make the playoffs with Nick Chubb, guess what? Take Chubb off the board, take Kamara off the board. He's not going to play around with it, doesn't even want to deal with it, right? So now we go to Elliott and Diggs. Not a big list. He's not a big fan. Elliott, you can kind of see it there. Stephon Diggs, not going on. I think he still wants to he has a better track record when he's picking up a running back. So he's going to go there. We're going to add 2 names to the board. We're going to go with Saquon Barkley and Jonathan Taylor. Right? So we're going to add those names to the board as well. Even though there's a huge risk with it, Eric likes to try to be cute. And we think pulls it off and goes with Saquon Barkley coming off, maybe missing a week, putting him on that IR spot, being able to get that top round talent in the 7th is where it's at. So there you go, Saquon Barkley in the 7th. Now we're getting to what we call no man's land, kind of that realm where you got to see what's available to really understand. And at this point, sometimes value trumps what your personal feelings are, and that comes in the case of Kyle coming in 8th. Look at this. In 11 years, never drafted 8th before. So this is a brand new experience for Kyle. He's a seasoned veteran champion. He's won this once, got a 2nd place, so he knows what it takes to win. But he's never been in 8th, so sometimes that could be a factor here. So as we break it down, he has run the gamut of all the positions, of different positions other than running back. He has got the most at quarterback with 3. As you see, Peyton Manning, Rodgers on there in 12 and 11. So, overall, 6 running backs, 3 QBs, 2 wide receivers, right? 55%, 27%, 18%. Okay, so there's really, there's just a lot of stuff out there. Nothing that indicates which way he's gonna go. So we just kind of break it down here by, so we got our usual suspects: Elliott, Kamara, and Chubb. But since we have some quarterbacks and some wide receivers, let's go with wide receivers. Let's get Stephon Diggs on there. Let's go ahead and get Patrick Mahomes on the board. But let's bring in the dark horse there, right? So Aaron Rodgers, right? If Aaron Rodgers is going to sneak into the first round, it's probably going to be on Kyle's watch. He likes to grab those Packers. Has done it before right here. He's looking at it. But I don't think it happens in this case. I think this is what I was talking about. Sometimes you got to put personal effects aside and see the value. And he's staring at it right here. Elliott's finally going to come off the board at number 8. The third overall pick falling to 8th. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, the value is just too good to take. So Ezekiel Elliott going to 8. So now here's the one we're going to be looking for. Here it is. Here is your current champion, your 5-time world champion, JB, coming in at 9th. He has drafted 9th once before. That was in 2000. Let me get a different color here. That was in 2016. Finished second behind Kyle that year. Let's just, healthy mix gone through here. So let's just break it down. We have 5 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 QB, 50, 40, 10. Remember, had to take this year off for school. But you look at his years, right? Championship, 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 championship. And then we have the championship down here when it didn't count. Also in there, a third and a second. And this healthy line of one JB finally figured it out. Before here, there was, I think in this time, a time where he drank a bottle of pucker and passed out and drafted 3 quarterbacks in that year. CJ Spiller. CJ Spiller was number 1. So obviously something happened here that JB figured it out and came back through. So if we're looking at who's on the list, who is remaining on the board here, we have Kamara, Chubb, and Diggs, right? Diggs is now on there. He's now in the top 3. Since we did have a quarterback here, we now have to put up Patrick Mahomes because now we have to factor that. So if we look at his championship run here, his championship wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, the running back there. There's no rhyme or reason into like saying, oh, this is the formula that wins it, or this is the formula that doesn't win it. It's just kind of a health thing. What I will say is, if you look at the last 2 years, remember this is the year Bell did not play 0 points, right? Gone for 9 games, roughly scored 56 points. So, with that in the last 2 championships, JB's first round pick doesn't matter. Whatever he's going to pick, it's probably not going to factor into his championship team, but it's still going to mean he probably could win a championship game. So, we could go ahead here and have him go ahead and pick up, Justin Fields and start him. We won't do anything stupid like that. But if we're going to go with it, then we're going to see where the difference is here. This is now where you look at the drop-off between running backs and the drop-off between the next wide receivers. We see that there. And before we decide it, let me tell you about the gamut that is going to be coming up if you look at it from a standpoint of 6th, Travis, 7th, Eric, 8th, Kyle, 9th, JB. The original 4, all right there in one giant group. So prepare, because this is the group that potentially is going to dictate the draft. So with that said, where's JB going at number 9? Stephon Diggs going wide receiver, Buffalo. We're coming up to, it's going to be a quick one here, but hopefully we can get some good data here. Adam, 10th, 2020 to Barkley as running back. Barkley quickly tore his ACL. Adam went on to win the dumper. So, simple as this, right? You know, 1 RB, 100%. Okay? So, you know, if we just go by statistics, he's probably taking a running back. But let's draw up the next top 3, right? So now, Kamara, Chubb, now Travis Kelce pops up onto our top 3 remaining here. Now, Adam is a wild card. Adam is a firecracker here. He has not only is he like, this is his second year playing in the league, this is his second year playing fantasy football altogether. So, you can listen to Eric and his thing of Kamara doesn't win championships. You go with that way. Chubb's there, you can go with that way. But I think Adam likes to spice things up, likes to try something. I think he's going to go ahead and throw a curveball at the whole thing in the 10th position and go with Travis Kelce in the first round here, saying, hey, I didn't win with a running back last year. These 2 are running backs. Let's give it a let's flare it up. Let's roll. Let's let it go on there and try to get that 7 there for you. So Travis Kelce going to Adam in the 10th spot. Another former champion, the 11th overall pick, going to Sam B. Couple things that we need to realize here. This is the first person that kind of flips the script here on it. So, look, Adams, Hopkins, Jones, Beckham, Demaryius Thomas, all wide receivers, right? So we have a total of 5 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 71% wide receiver, 29 running backs. That is the definition of the flip. Now, whether that means it's always been drafting late in the rounds or just when she's early, she just starts picking it. It's hard to tell, but the studies are there. Boom. So, let's look at the usual suspects. Then we'll figure out where we're going from there. Make sense of it all. So, right now, here's who's left on the board. Alvin Kamara, Nicholas Chubb, and now Jonathan Taylor is our next best player coming onto the board. So, all running backs. We need a wide receiver. So, let's bring up the next wide receiver from the list. Atlanta's Calvin Ridley. Okay? So, we look at some of the things. Sam has had 3 bad years in the league. So, that happened in 2020, happened in 2018, and happened in 2016 with stupid Lamar Miller, right? So, if you look at it, what are her 2 bad years? What do they have in common? Boom. Boom. Running backs. So, just going off that, with her penchant to take wide receivers, with her bad years being running backs, let's nix these guys off, and boom. Simple. Calvin Ridley going 11th. 4th wide receiver off the board.